As an Irishman, can you understand the desire for security in investments?
Sure, yeah. And I've been coming over to the German market for the last 15 years or so with Standard Life, so I've been involved back in the day when we had with profits and guarantees. We don't offer those in other markets now either within the Phoenix Group. Can understand the demand, but where we see guarantees playing probably a bigger role is in the accumulation phase. So we believe as a house that you can take risk. Pensions and savings products that are designed for retirement are long-term in nature. So we believe by investing in equity type solutions over the long term, you will get better returns. And the trade-off may not be worth it all the time. Now with interest rates rising, there might be opportunities to look at that again. But certainly we're very much of the view that you diversify your portfolio, as we just discussed a short time ago, hold money on cash if you wish, but then commit to markets, and that's the way to do it. And then in the drawdown or in the post-retirement space, we see our maybe playing a bigger role there in terms of providing security there. When people are a little bit older, they want certainty of their income in retirement, not necessarily in the accumulation phase, but definitely in the decumulation phase. So that's very much a focus of where we're going to put our attention in terms of future propositions.
You are active in England, in Ireland, in Germany, and Austria. If you compare the countries, where does pension providers work better from a customer perspective, from a broker perspective?
Okay, so it's quite a difficult question to answer. But what is interesting is that it's slightly different in each of the markets. So you've got the UK has banned commission, but that doesn't mean that advisors don't get paid. They have something called advisor charging, which is another way of getting paid for the services you provide. There's still commission in Ireland, but more transparency. So it was deemed that full banning wasn't appropriate in the Irish market a couple of years ago, so they just got more transparency. Germany is on a journey, and European regulation could move, but what I see from a customer outcome perspective is actually very little difference. I see advisors thriving in the UK, so there's been a change maybe in terms of the numbers of customers that they now provide services to. There's definitely a challenge to provide advice lower down to customers with less assets. But what we have seen is advisors have changed their proposition. They've enhanced it in many ways. They've become more advice driven in terms of what the proposition is, and they're proven to be really successful. So they've continued to be successful. And outcomes are good for customers as well. So there's a common theme about customer outcomes in all markets. I think there's different ways of achieving them, but it's really difficult to work out what model is better. And I'm 38 years in this business, so I've seen them all. But I wouldn't be, if I was an advisor, having seen the UK and worked as closely in the UK as I do, it wouldn't hold any fear for me. If you're giving good advice to your client, you still deserve to get paid for it. The mechanism might change, but it doesn't mean you won't have a very successful and viable business because the customer need is still there.
Last question, what do you expect for 2024?
I'm hoping, in a global sense, things will calm a little bit. I think hopefully interest rates have peaked, start to come back again, and likewise inflation. So I'm hopeful that we'll have a more stable kind of macroeconomic environment. I'm hoping in Germany that the movement towards unit-linked, non-guaranteed solutions continues to progress, because that has been our positioning for the last few years. So no reason not to believe that we're not going to build on the back of that growth in Germany. And likewise, if we can build on the strength of the enhancements of propositions that are coming out of group, we benefit in Europe a lot from what happens in the UK. I'm very optimistic that we will continue on the growth trajectory of the last few years.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.